Hi, beautiful human. I'm Zach. That's Dan.
Yep.
And Alessia Cara is in the studio.
Yay! Very excited to be back.
We are embarking on a new era.
Yes, we are.
But I got to say, as you know, I listen to your music. I went so deep today, and I went back to the very beginning.
Really?
I just need to express that you, and I think I do this maybe every time we talk, but you have crafted songs that are so powerful. It's going to make me cry. No, they're so meaningful. It's not every day that you can find some where the two collide, right? Where you can get a song that is a hit and timeless, but also has the ability and meaning and power to grab you wherever you're at and mean something to you.
Oh,
and yes, art is that, right? Art has the ability to adapt and become one with whoever the fuck we are, right? And meet us where we're at. But it's just very rare that the two become. Do you get what I'm saying? Where those intersections happen, and you've done that so many times.
Oh, thank you.
No, it's really special.
Really nice. Thank you. I'm glad that that you think that. That's really sweet. I feel like that's the goal for, not to speak for every artist, but for a lot of artists, is to be able to resonate with as many people as you can, and also at the same time make music that people just enjoy listening to, that are I don't know, just good songs. So I'm glad that you think that. That's definitely the goal. So that's very nice.
Do you think of your back catalog as, obviously it's an extension of you, but you also want to grow from that, right?
Yeah, for sure. I think every album that I've done, including this next one that
you
hasn't
hear the
been
growth.
heard. Yeah, well, that's good. I'm glad. That's another goal for sure. I think it just kind of happens though. It's a natural evolution, at least for me. Every album I make feels like a step closer to the music that I want to make and the music that I love to listen to. I feel like this upcoming stuff that everybody will hear feels like a culmination of everything that I love to listen to in one, which is always kind of what I've wanted to do. But I don't think you can necessarily get there until you have all the other steps. Every album I've done has felt like inching closer towards this, and this by far feels like I just feel the best about this batch of music. But I love everything I've done, of course.
Can you hear, to that point, it's you need to do everything you've done to get to where you're at, right?
Yeah.
Which, by the way, when you talk about music that you want to make, one of the biggest differences from what I've heard of this body of work that's coming, right, in the fall, is live instrumentation in a way that very much it's there to carry the story.
Yeah.
It really, that's one of the most glaring differences, but there's a lot of nuanced differences too.
Yeah, I think so. I think definitely sonically, this is the most live that I've gone with the instrumentation. And I wanted to do that going into it. I was I want to just do more live stuff, because I was listening to a ton of live music and music from the 60s, 70s, 90s even, that just have mostly live instrumentation, and there's just a feeling that type of music captures that something programmed doesn't always capture. And I love program stuff, and there's a lot of contemporary sounds on here as well, but I just really wanted to go in live, and a lot of these songs just felt like jamming in the room, and I hope that comes across when you hear them too, because that was what I wanted.
Are there elements of Here or Scars to Your Beautiful that still exist in the songs that you're about to release?
Lyrically, you mean, or
yeah, really could be probably lyrically. I would say is the story is the most through line to everything you've ever put out.
Yeah, for sure. Well, I think those songs are part of my DNA, so I feel like there's always gonna be some of their DNA in the new stuff that I make, because it every song I've ever made is about a part of my life, or an experience that I've had in some way. So I feel like it's just an evolved version of that girl that I was back almost 10 years ago, which is crazy to think about. But yeah, it just feels like an evolved version of me. But that girl still lives in me, of course. The girl that was shy at the party and all that stuff. My 16-year-old self is definitely still in me. She's just more evolved, just has more to look back on. She's farther along, down the road, but same person, obviously.
Is there anything you miss from that time of your life?
Pre doing music professionally?
Right there on the cusp, yeah.
Yes and no. I think there's there was an ambition that I had, and a wide-eyed, green nature to me when I first started, of course, because every single thing was new to me. And I was kind of unscathed by the industry in the beginning. Like I just kind of didn't know what I was in for. So there was a big part of me that kind of had like this naive ambition that I almost don't think I have now, because as we get older, or at least for me, like as I've gotten older, I've like developed more anxieties about things that I didn't have when I was younger. I just had like a blind ambition before, where you'd think I'd become like more evolved, I've become more afraid in many ways. Because
I totally get it. You have more to lose.
You have more to lose, yeah. And just like you're just more aware of like repercussions of things, or like just more aware of like, I don't know, just feelings. And then that I wasn't really before. So I just felt like I didn't understand like the gravity of certain things that I was doing. And I'm almost grateful for that, because I don't know if I would have been able to do them had I been aware of like how big it actually was.
100%. 100%.
Yeah. So that part I do miss. But I also obviously feel way more comfortable, way more evolved than I was. And there's a lot about that time in my life that I don't miss, So.
It's so weird. I very weirdly relate to it. And I realized the other day that the one feeling that I want to chase again, or would love to feel again, is blind naivete and confidence that comes with age. I mean, dude, like the sheer reason I exist today is because I just had, like, I did not give a shit. Like I didn't like, I mean, I would email somebody a trillion times before they even, like it didn't matter. Nothing mattered. It was, but everything mattered at the same time. Do you get what I'm saying?
100%.
Like,
yeah. It's so weird.
I don't know if I'll ever feel that again. Like it's just such a, but that's something I chase. I think about it.
It's true. I know. It's such a strange thing. Like, same here. Like, I would just, like, get up on stage on, like, some of the biggest stages in the world. And, of course, I was nervous, but, like, I just didn't understand what was happening. And even just, like, pre-doing this professionally, like, just posting videos on YouTube and just, like, doing the thing and being like, I'm not going to go to college. I'm going to do that. Like, not even thinking about a plan B. And, like, now I would never do that. But just, but we wouldn't exist and we wouldn't be in these positions if we didn't have that like almost delusion. I feel like you have to be a tiny bit delusional when you're doing this kind of thing, and every artist, everybody who's had like some level of success has to have like a little sprinkle of that naive delusion in the beginning. I think that's the only way you're gonna get to the other side. You have to just be blind.
It's like, that is so beautifully accurate. How much of this new era is made up of actually your past and being retrospective and looking back at what you've done and who you've become?
I would say the first half is kind of like that. I tried to make this album sort of in chronological order, even though like maybe some of the songs I wrote like after the fact, when I like laid out the track list. I tried to make it so that it felt like chronological order. And actually this song, the single Dead Man, is one of those moments that I kind of went back and retrospectively thought about like old relationships and old feelings that I've felt before and like written about them from a different perspective,
How do you reach that perspective?
I don't know. I think when I was just listening to the album, I ended up realizing that I had a lot of songs about like, new acceptance for love and like healthy things in my life, which is very new to me. But then, I felt like there was a piece of the puzzle missing where I didn't really have many songs about like how I got there. And I really do feel like it's important to note that you can't really get to the accepting of love, whether it's like self-love or romantic love, without accepting loss and pain and all those things. And like vice versa. Like you can't have one without the other. So I realized I wanted to like tap into those feelings that got me to where I am now. And Dead Man was one of those things. It's just about a feeling of like feeling lonely in a relationship and, watching something in front of you fall apart and like the idea you have of somebody falling apart. And I feel like that feeling sucks in the moment, but it allows you to realize what you do want ultimately. And then when you find it, it just feels so much better because you've been through that other stuff. You've dug up all that old, bad stuff.
It's true. But also coming to terms with like realizing that like the person that you thought you knew is not the person you knew, or the person that you like you either craft in your head, or the person like you like there is a reality that you end up like convincing yourself of.
For sure.
And it's hard. Like but coming to terms with that, like the only way you can allow anything better to enter into your life is by allowing this person to be dead.
Yeah, yeah, kind of. Yeah, definitely figurative death, by the way. Everybody's
totally.
Like,
dead to me.
Who are we killing? I'm like, we're not killing anybody. This is not a song about that. It's like, if anything, it's like killing off like old patterns that you repeat, killing this idea, to just like see the reality of a situation. And, sometimes that's where like delusion is bad. Totally. That's like the bad type of delusion where, you're just like convincing yourself that you can fix the situation or fix the person or fix yourself. And you can't do that until you like let it go,
I feel like delusion and hyperbole have more in common than one thinks.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely, yeah.
Hello, beautiful human. Every year, millions of gamers experience IGSS, inadequate gaming setup syndrome. Luckily, a cure has been found. You have to go beyond with the Vibrasonic mattress by Beyond Sleep. This thing has 6 built-in subwoofers, USB ports for charging, LED lights so you never stub your toe. It gives you an acoustic massage when you want it, plus adjustable degrees of comfort. This right here is the best way to game ever. Cure your IGSS today at BeyondSleepTech.com.
Dead Man, the horns. Can you talk about like actually building the song and putting it together?
Yes. So the horn section was really fun, and I knew the song needed a little bit of that because it just like when we were writing it, it just felt like so reminiscent of, again, like so much of the music that I love. And I love jazz music. I love, just like Motown and soul and swing and all that stuff. And I don't know. I just feel like the song just felt really sassy. And there's nothing sassier than like a horn section, a little trumpet, it just felt really fun. And it was really cool. We had like a whole, horn section come in, a group of amazing musicians just come in, and we were like riffing, and Mike Elizondo, the producer, and I were just like going back and forth with them and telling them to try stuff. And they were taking liberties as well, just bringing a bunch of stuff to the table. And we just ended up like picking the best parts and creating like the whole horn section, and also just like the horns throughout the whole song as well. We kind of sprinkled them throughout the whole thing.
Did you write this album on your own?
I did, yeah. Since my second album onward, I've written everything, all the lyrics by myself, with the exception of one song on this album that I had a couple lines given to me by the producer Jay Cash, but we'll talk about that one later. But yeah, for 99.9% of the album by myself, as I've done like second album onward.
The second album was written in your bathtub, right, or something?
Yeah. I wrote majority of that song, that album in my bathtub, with no water, like just sitting in the bathtub clothed, no water, not like in the bath. But yeah, just me and my guitar in the bathtub. I don't know why that was a place that I went to. I think the acoustics, something about like the acoustics in a bathroom just make you sound good.
Where did you write this one?
This one I wrote honestly kind of everywhere. I was like in Miami for a second, then in LA, then in Toronto. I kind of like was bouncing around, and I worked with a bunch of different people. So it's like a culmination of places this time around. Mostly in a studio, though.
If you're really there, then why can't I walk right through you?
Yeah.
Talking to a dead man.
Yeah. Yes.
Are you thinking about one person, or are you thinking about a collection of people when you write that?
I think a collection of like situations, honestly. Like, and I'm not trying to be cryptic and be like, it's not about anything specific, but genuinely it's not. Like, it really just is about a feeling that I was like tapping into, because again, like I was writing this retrospectively. So I was just like tapping into that feeling that I felt so many times before, and whether it's with the same person or just a couple different people, like just trying to hold on to something that can't be held on to anymore, and like seeing something kind of fall apart in front of you. That's definitely something I've felt before a few times in various ways. So I'm not good with like not having control, so that feeling comes up a lot where I'm like trying to, piece things together or convince myself that, I can fix something. And sometimes it's just, you can't fix it, or you shouldn't fix it. It just is what it is, so.
You shouldn't fix it.
Yeah.
It's interesting. It's true. Are you writing this stream of consciousness, or are you like really strategic about what you're writing, or does it start as a poem? Like what's the vibe? Are you with the guitar?
Well, for this song, actually for most of the songs in the album, it was kind of just like me and a producer. And I mean, in the past, I've written like songs on my own, because I've been an extremely shy writer in the past, where I would like, have to write a song like in my bathtub or whatever, totally by myself, and then bring it in like kind of done already, because I was too shy to like say a stupid idea in the room. But for this album, I was really adamant about like just trying to write in the room and do like stream of consciousness, and not worry if like a stupid lyric comes out or like a stupid melody comes out, and that was a really great exercise for me, because I don't know. I feel like also when you're writing in the room and just like shouting things out, oftentimes the producer or whoever else is in there will call something out that you might not think is good, and or you might not even notice you're doing, and they're like, wait, that's actually really cool. Like having just like a second person in there help pull things out of you is really fun, and like not judging the process too much. I think I used to be very precious about like the writing process and like trying to make it perfect before I showed anybody, and it's like it's not going to be that way, and I feel like that harms the process sometimes. You're not allowing yourself to just be free and to just say the first thing that comes to mind, because sometimes the first thing that comes to mind is the best thing,
What pushes you, like, to get back with people? Like, to essentially go back to the way you made album number 1, right?
Yeah, pretty much. Except this time I was like having to do it like without another writer. So like all the stupid ideas would be mine, which is scarier. But also, yeah, like just opening up to other people and like being able to work with, producers in the room. I don't know. Like, I think it was just wanting to do something fresh and to push myself, because if I waited for like the thing to be perfect before I showed somebody, I just felt like I would like filter it and like, I don't know. I just wanted to work from a place of simplicity, and sometimes the most authentic thing you can do is like just keep it simple and not try to like impress yourself or impress the other person by like coming with something polished and done, And I think in the past I was just so scared of like producers or whoever I was working with, like thinking that I wasn't like a good writer, because oftentimes you don't get a lot of time with these people, right? Like sessions usually go like, hey, you have like 2 days with somebody or whatever, and I used to think like if I don't write like an amazing song in 2 days, they're gonna think that I'm like not a good writer, or I'm gonna waste their time. And so I just tried to like rid myself of that thought, because it's not productive and it doesn't call for like, I don't know, something great when you're already thinking like, I gotta do something good,
Oh, totally. Like it's like the one thing that's like chilling in the back or in the front of your mind, right? It's going to totally come in the way of the process.
Yeah. So you just gotta like throw yourself in the deep end. And I'm like, you know what? I might sing something that's really bad, but don't judge me. I'm not gonna judge myself. We'll just find it, and keep doing it till we find it. And we found a lot of great stuff. So I want to maybe try doing it more often.
Did you find a team of collaborators that you can get instantly vulnerable with now because there's a rapport built up?
I think so. Yeah, there's definitely a lot of people. I mean, all the people that I worked with on this album, on the songs that you hear, I think are just the songs were able to happen because the people allowed me to be vulnerable and I felt comfortable with these people. So yeah, all the collaborators on this album felt that way to me, where I felt like comfortable enough that I could just like sing a stupid thing and see what happens.
What are you thinking?
Mike Elizondo produced this one, right? Did I pronounce his name right?
Yes, you did. Yeah.
I was just
Mike's
Googling
amazing.
him. He did In the Club by 50 Cent.
He
The Real
did,
Slim
yeah.
Shady by Eminem.
He did a lot of Eminem stuff. Yeah, a lot of hip hop stuff. He's done a lot of like more current stuff too that I really love. He started out as a bass player, so he played the bass lines on all of those like really, really popular songs, which is sick. And he lent his bass to this song as well, which I feel very special. Being part of the Eminem 50 Cent club. Now I have Mike Elizondo on my song.
How did you know this album was done?
I mean, I think to some degree you don't ever feel like it's done. And I don't want to speak for other artists, but a lot of us, I'm sure, feel that way, where you can like keep going and going forever. But I think for this particular story that I was trying to tell, these like songs that I had felt like they made the most sense, and that they told like the story that I kind of wanted to get across in a way that felt like good.
What was the story?
The story to me feels like going from, accepting loss and pain to accepting love and joy and happiness, which is something that I've struggled with for a long time. I felt like I didn't know what being safe in a romantic relationship felt like, or not even safe, because it's not like I didn't feel safe, feeling like comfortable and totally at peace in a relationship. That's what I should say. I didn't really know what that felt like, and how to I didn't know how to accept pure joy. I felt like there was always something looming over me, like this dark cloud that I always had over myself, and I almost felt like I couldn't accept love and good things because something bad would happen if I did, or I didn't deserve them or something. So this album very much to me felt like the process of, going through that and then finally finding a place where I felt happy and I felt like I could finally accept the things that I was pushing away for a long time.
And does that exist now in your real life, that happiness?
Yeah, definitely, which is so nice to be able to say. Yeah, I definitely feel like I'm in a good place emotionally for sure.
What part of the story does Dead Man play?
That's the very first part, which is why I wanted to put it out as the first thing. You know, it's like the beginning part of that story where it's like refusing to let go of the bad, you know, and it's not until I let go of all that old stuff that I could, you know, let in the good, right? But Dead Man is about that initial period of like wanting to have control of something you can't have control over, feeling pain, being in the wrong relationship, being in the wrong situation, and just like holding on to a false idea that, you know, doesn't exist. And then as the album goes on, you'll start to hear more of the phases and kind of the rest of the story.
Are the lyrics exaggerated or are they ripped from your reality?
They're definitely from my reality, for sure. They're like expanding upon just a feeling that I've felt many times before.
I want to talk about the other records.
They're so good. Like the whole thing, everything we've heard is so good.
It's
Thank
crazy.
you. Are we allowed? I don't know what we're allowed to
We're not
do.
allowed to.
Oh, we're not?
I mean, like, you have a song coming, like, not too far after this dropping.
I don't know if I think you might be. I don't know. I think you might be saying too much already.
Well, I could say that. Well, there's going to be more. I'm sure they know there's going to be more.
Yeah, you're going to get more than just one song.
Yes, of course. The album consists of more than one song.
When you start, like, the process of making this thing, what goals did you set creatively for yourself?
I definitely wanted to do something that felt fresh for me, and that felt like something that I hadn't really touched upon before. And while like a lot of it still does sound like me, I wanted it to feel like some sort of evolution. You know, I didn't want it to sound like stuff that you could have heard on my last albums, you know? So it was interesting trying to find the balance of like keeping my identity and keeping the parts of me that I feel like my listeners enjoy and want from me, but also something that they haven't heard from me, you know, and something that still feels like growth, you know?
This is giving all those things.
That's good. I hope so.
I'm excited for people to hear it. Like it's really, really good.
Thank you. Oh, I'm so excited. I can't wait to do another interview where it's out where we can finally talk about
We
things.
should dissect the album, and you should do a track by track here on Amazon Music.
I
where
would
you can
love
like
to.
take everybody through the album. It's really cool.
Love a track by track.
Yeah,
My favorite.
they are fun, and
Yeah.
also like I feel like this album really calls for it because it is so sonically unique.
Thank you.
Yeah, the live instrumentation's really good. It's really, really good.
Thank you so much. I'm glad.
I want to talk.
We're not. We can't.
it's-
I keep getting messages
No.
saying no.
Oh,
no,
really?
no.
Oh, so they can hear. Okay, they
Yeah.
can hear
It's
us.
stressing me out because I
I
want to
know.
talk about it.
I know.
I can't even talk about one of them.
No.
Okay, Dan.
Can we talk about it without saying the? Oh, maybe not. I shouldn't even say
I
that.
mean, I have plenty of questions about him, but I know I can't ask.
You just need to get
unfortunately.
really excited because I'm telling you, the songs are so good.
They really
Thank
are.
you.
They're incredible. Do you think about the success of your previous music when making these songs or getting ready to release new music?
I mean, not when I'm creating them. I try not to do that as much as possible. I try to forget like anything that's ever happened to me before I'm writing them, just because I feel like it doesn't serve the music when you're like already putting an expectation on it. It's the same thing as like the writing process when you're being too precious about like, you know, having a bad idea or like not wanting to have a bad idea. It's the same thing. You don't want to like have the pressure of like trying to beat something that you've done before or like who's going to be hearing it, you know. But at the same time, I do keep my listeners in mind, and I would never just be like totally self-indulgent where I'm like, screw what you guys think. I'm just going to make something I love and like crazy left. Maybe one day I will. But right now, I still want them to, of course, love it as much as I do. But I do try to just like trust that if I like it, they'll like it, and you know, not focus too much on like the past success of my old stuff, because it might not ever reach that. Like that was a moment that people don't even get once, and I'm so grateful that I had it once. And I don't,
Once
you know,
you've had numerous hits. What are you talking about?
well, I mean, at a period in my life, you know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? Whatever the case is, but you know, like I had it, and that was beautiful and amazing, and I'll always hold that close to me. And if I ever get one again, I'd be super grateful. I'm not going to be mad, but you know, I think I've done all these incredible things, and I feel just very lucky to have done it at a point in my life, so we're good.
Can I say, like, you know, one, coming to peace with that is really special, but also like hard to do, and to a certain degree, because so much of the success back then was very much determined by the success of your music, and well, by the quality of your music. But your quality of music has always been top notch and superb.
Thank you.
You've also been around to see a crazy, monumental, seismic shift in how music is discovered and what tastemakership is, and like, like, dude, like 2015 is when Here pops off, and at that time, like, streaming existed, but radio still mattered, and like, dude, certain playlists were how people really discovered music, and like, you knew where to go and how to get a song out there.
For sure. Yeah, you knew all the things, and I learned the industry that way. So now coming back, while I do feel like seasoned enough to like know what I'm doing and whatever, there is like an element to it where like I am having to like relearn how to be an artist in this time. And I know that sounds dumb because I'm still young and it's only been 10 years, but 10 years feels like a lifetime in terms of like how the industry has shifted.
From when we met
Yes.
to now. And by the way, when you saw us last, we were down the street at our radio studio.
Yep.
And we were on the radio on like 70 different radio stations across the country.
I know.
And
now
like
it's different.
now like everything's changed.
Everything has changed. Yes, that's why. So it's like you can't even like worry about success when I don't even know what that means anymore. Like, because before it was like, okay, if your song did well on radio, it's successful. If it was number one, it's successful. Now it's like, it could be if people are listening to it on TikTok, it's successful. If, you know, it's culturally significant, it's successful. It's like there's just so many, like there's no way to even tell what that means, which I think is a good thing because it just means different things to everybody. And now everybody just has access to so much music and so many people can be touched by certain things. And I don't know, I just feel like I'm kind of glad that success has been redefined because now there's just way more opportunity for music to go into so many different places, you know?
But I could also make the case, too, that like now more than ever, we may see less timeless records, or at least records that end up being timeless or feel timeless based on, and it's different than like a standard. I mean, like this idea that a song was so widely accepted across so many different places and still gets played today. Like Scars to Your Beautiful, timeless.
Thanks.
Here, timeless.
Thank you.
Dude, the Z record, timeless.
Thank you. That's a fun one.
Like it's, I feel like we get less records of that magnitude based on the sheer amount of places where people discover music and listen to it. Do you get what I'm saying? Like,
for sure. And I don't think that has anything to do with the quality of music. I think there are, you know, timeless, worthy records. There's so many incredible artists that I listen to now, but I think it's just because like there's so much music out there that it's hard for like anything to stand out because everything stands out. But I don't know if that's like worse or better. I feel like there's a part of it that's better because everybody gets a shot and there's like no, I don't know, the competition feels it feels like there's more room for everybody in a sense. But it's also hard for things to like stand out because there's so much stuff, you know? And so I'm well aware of that. Like coming into this now, I'm just happy if anybody hears it, and I understand that like I'm walking into an industry that is very different than what it was, you know? So you come to terms, I guess. I don't know. It's so weird.
By the way, an industry you've been in for 10 years.
Yeah. I feel like that's so weird to say. When people used to be like, I've been doing this for 10 years or whatever. Now I feel like now I can say that, and it's so strange to be able to say that. It feels like a long time. It is a long time.
No, it totally has been a long time.
Yeah, it is a long time.
I can't believe Here came out 10 years ago.
No,
I remember. So old.
I remember meeting you for the first time with your dad, and you had one radio person with you, and it was a late in the day interview, like maybe like 5 or something.
Yeah.
And that was the first time you came on ever, and you performed that day, and then you'd come back later with your best friend.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, yeah.
Is she still around?
She is still around, yes. She's not here right now at the moment, but
she gave real one energy. Like she'd be.
She is
like day one
real
energy.
She is. She's day one, and she will be day 1,000,000 or however many days I have left. She will fill out all those days. Yeah.
She was good energy.
Yeah, she's awesome. She's the best.
Yeah, really special.
Yeah.
She in Toronto? What's her deal?
She's in Toronto, yeah. Just like blowing up her spot. Hey, Liv. Yeah, she's in Toronto, chilling, maybe watching this. If you're watching this, love you. Yeah.
Are you still based in Toronto?
I am. Yeah, I live in the city. It's actually pretty awesome. I mean, the winters aren't great, but I do love living in the thick of the city. I used to think I wanted to be like a rural person where like, you know, but that's so not actually what I want, I realized.
Toronto's beautiful.
Toronto's awesome.
It's so clean.
Especially this time of year in the summer. It's like pretty unbeatable, I will say.
Because it's like not too hot, right? It's like the right amount of like...
Yeah, it's the right amount. I mean, sometimes it gets hot, but I don't know. There's something about Toronto in the summer. It's just like the vibe, the people, everybody's got their dogs out. It's like, I don't know. There's my favorite, like the most healing thing for me is getting a coffee, like an iced coffee in the summer, walking my dog in the city. That is like the most healing experience. That's all I want to do. If that was a job, I'd be CEO of gallivanting through Toronto.
Where do you keep your Juno awards?
I keep them in my apartment. I have a few at my parents' house.
You have so many.
I have a few. I'm sorry, that sounded really... I have a few of them at my parents' house, and then the rest, because there's so many. No, I'm just kidding. There's a couple that I have at my apartment, too. But my parents, they're greedy. They're like, we want to keep some of them. So they have like a little like section in the house where they keep it. I guess they want to show off. But I have a couple. I have a couple in my apartment.
And where's the Grammy?
My parents have the Grammy. Can
really?
you believe?
Interesting.
Like, can you believe it?
Wait, what?
I'm like, why do you guys get it? My mom's like, you'll have more. I'm like, well, we don't know. Like, I don't know how it's looking, but hopefully. But I'm gonna give it like maybe like 2 more years, and if I gotta get it back. 2 more years is enough time.
Is it like on a mantle? Is it on display?
It's on display. Yeah, they have it, and like I'll see like my family members that go over to their house will like send me photos of them holding it. Like I'm like, what is this? Like an exhibit?
You're like, this is mine.
Be careful. Yeah, you know what it was? It was because when my mom came with me to the Grammys, and Lord, the singer, was singing. Obviously, the singer, not the Lord. Jesus Christ was sitting behind my mom. Lord was sitting behind my mom, and she apparently said to my mom, you have to keep the first one. And so my mom came to me, she was like, Lord said I have to keep the first one. I'm like, Mom, like, this isn't fair. So thanks to Lord, my mom and dad have my Grammy.
It's giving potential good luck, though. I like that.
I hope so. I mean, we'll see. Again, I'm giving it 2 years, and then I'm taking it back.
How did you discover that you could do a Lord impression?
I don't know. I think I just like to sing songs like the singers that sing them. I don't know. Like I just feel like that's just... I've always liked to mimic sounds, and I don't know. And so I just like one day started singing like her. But I don't think I can do it anymore. I feel like that was a thing that I could only do. I kind of lost it. I had to get back into my Lord impressions.
Do you have a good impression that you do now that you whip out at parties?
I do like my Kourtney Kardashian impression. That's... I have to really get into it, but, you know, Zach, Dan, I literally don't understand. No, that wasn't that good. I'll come back to it.
You hear it, though, right?
I have to get into it. It's the R's. It's the R's. Really crazy. You guys are... There it is. It's back. See? It takes a second. She has to take over my body. It takes like T-minus like 10 seconds for her to really come into my body, but she's here now. She's here.
Kourtney is in the room
Kourtney's
with us.
in the room. You're literally crazy. All of you. Crazy.
It's really good.
Thank you. That's the one. That's the one I have. That's all I got, honestly, right now.
That's all you need. By the way, I got to say, I think you've come on our show a couple times, obviously, and we've never asked you about your impressions, and that is something that I think will follow you
for the rest of my life.
Many talk show appearances.
Yes, every single time. But honestly,
thanks for doing
fine.
that.
No problem. No problem.
Really
that was I whipped that one out. That was all me.
Did that all start on Jimmy Fallon, or was that around, there were impressions around before that?
I think it stemmed from, I made this like really embarrassing YouTube video like before I had music out, where I was just doing like impressions of people, because I thought like no one's gonna see this, and then of course everybody saw it. I've since privated that video, but everyone has seen it. So then I think Jimmy Fallon saw that video, or like his people saw that video, and then they were like, we saw this, can you do it? And now it's just become a thing where every time they just ask me to do it. I gotta like get some new ones though. I'm running out of interesting ones to do.
Impressions, or maybe like a new party trick or something.
Or maybe just a new party trick altogether. I got to learn how to like juggle or something.
That's good.
That'd be a cool one.
Just have some beanbags in your back pocket.
Yeah, just you never know. Yeah.
Toss them up, do a dance.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool. By the way, you can listen to all of Alessia's music. It's waiting for you. There's a link below. It's all on Amazon Music. Tell your Alexa to play Alessia Cara. You have any thoughts over there?
Yes. Back on January 4th, you said that you had written 47 songs for the new album so far.
Yes.
How many did we get to? And
We got to, can I say, well, I'll say it. Can I? 14.
So where are the other 30-something?
I don't know. They're in the ether somewhere. Maybe they'll come out. I don't know. I mean, there's a lot of good songs in there. It's just you can't have an album. Well, maybe some people can put out an album of 46 songs. I just didn't feel like that was what people wanted from me. And also, it just didn't feel like all of them like fit the story, you know. And you have to like get out a lot of the okay stuff to get to the good stuff. So a lot of those songs were just like warm ups, I think.
Would you ever like give a song to another artist?
I definitely would. There's like a song on this album actually that I did write for somebody else that I ended up keeping.
Really?
And at first I didn't like it. I was like, I don't really want this. But then I was like, maybe I'll keep it. And then I ended up keeping it. But who knows? Yeah, maybe.
Who's it written for?
I was writing it for like, just like it's like a kind of like a dancey like pop song. And I was working with Doja Cat, or a producer who works with Doja Cat. And so I was like, I'm going to write like a version of like a Doja Cat song or something. And obviously like she writes her own music, so she wouldn't have taken the song anyway. But I was like, I'm going to write a song for Doja Cat. And so I did. And then it just ended up being kind of fun. And I was like, okay, maybe I'll keep it. And then we ended up changing the production completely to sound like a song of mine or something that I would do. Because originally it was like, it sounded like nothing like something. It sounded nothing like something I would do. But now it fits the whole vibe. It just felt like a fun thing to add. But it was not for me. I was like, I'll just give it to like a pop star or something. But I ended up keeping it.
Well, interesting, like to put that kind of frame of reference in your head while creating something, because it does give you some sort of North Star while also injecting your own experience in life and, you know, story into it.
Yeah. And I never really do that. That was like one of the few times that I've like written a song with like someone else in mind, or just like, even if you know it's not going to go to them, like I knew obviously, you know, Doja Cat's not going to take a song of mine. She's an incredible writer, but just to have like a pillar of like, ooh, like what would like this person sing, or like how would this person sing it? And I don't know, just working from that place was kind of fun and different. And I don't really do that a ton, but it was kind of cool.
Also a sign of a great record that can be dressed in so many different production styles and still be great.
Yeah, it's interesting. Like it changed so much from like its original state to now. It's like, it's still like the essence is the same, but it's so crazy how like the bed you put underneath a song can like really just change everything about it, or like change the whole energy of it. It's weird.
Would you give a song to Zed? Would you work with a DJ again?
I would actually. I feel like that'd be really fun. I definitely want to like dabble more with like just like my songwriter hat and like, you know, not be the singer of songs that I write. I feel like it'd be cool. But I don't know. I haven't really done it a ton. I've done it a little bit, but it'd be cool.
Interesting.
Yeah.
A challenge.
A challenge.
Again, listen to Alessia's music, link below. New era is on the way. A new era is on the way.
it's phenomenal.
Thank you.
Superb. Real music.
Thank you guys. That's really nice.
True musicianship.
I appreciate it. But would you tell me if it wasn't? You wouldn't say if it was.
Honestly, I don't think we'd say anything.
Really? You would just be like, new song?
No, yeah, I just feel like, listen, you know, go listen to it.
Yeah,
If
okay.
you want to listen to Alessia's music,
Okay,
totally
fine.
up to
I
you.
believe you then. I believe you. Thank you.
No, it's good.
We've been
Thank
given
you.
4 songs, and I've been listening to them a lot.
Really? I wonder what. Well, after the cameras are done rolling, I want to know which ones you guys have heard.
I have notes on all of them. They're great.
Really? Okay, next time we gotta come back and do like a deep dive.
Yeah,
That'd be
or
fun.
we'll come to you because I may be in Toronto in September.
Oh, really?
Yes.
No way.
Which is rare. Like, if I never go to where you are.
That would be really cool.
Yeah, we can hang out.
That'd be sick.
Yeah, we can do one of these things, but like maybe somewhere different.
That'd be awesome. That'd be cool. Okay.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah. You're on record saying it. So.
I am. I'm supposed to come to town for like the songwriter. There's like a songwriter like Hall of Fame or something.
Oh, sick. Yeah. They do that. They do that every year, I think.
Yeah.
Every year. Amazing. Okay, sick.
Yeah.
Are you a secret songwriter? Is that why you're there? You're
Nah, Amazon-
ghostwriting for people?
Imagine.
Can you imagine it comes out like zachsang, secret writer of all like
That's
the
too
world's biggest hits?
Too cool for me. Also, it's so insider trading, like inside baseball. Like imagine, like that is
cool.
like I write the songs and then I play them on the radio. Now I have no more power. But.
that would be crazy.
Last question is like, other than music, what have you been up to the past 3 years?
Man.
Have you been doing music the whole time, or did you take some time off? Or like,
what have I been up to? Honestly, it feels like pretty much music. For the most part, I've been like bouncing around writing, but also just like doing like regular life things. I got a dog. She's the best.
Amazing.
Been taking care of her.
So, okay, you've just been living life, but
Yeah, living life.
you also have a few songs with over 1 billion streams. So, like, you could just kind of vibe, can't you? Like, I don't want to be that guy, but like, I mean Canadian
could.
dollars are pretty real, so you're rich.
Oh yeah. Well, the dollar's not doing so great right now. Maybe if I was in the States. Actually, no, the opposite. Well, if I was from the States going to Canada, yes.
Yeah,
but
they're called
the opposite.
loonies, right?
Yeah, loonies and toonies. Lots of loonies and toonies. I mean, yes, technically I could vibe, but with the brain that I have, the way
can't
that my
vibe.
brain is set up, yeah, it just really doesn't allow for vibing. It's like a very, I can't really sit still. I can't really like, I feel like I always need some sort of distraction, or like I need to be working. I don't know. I feel like a lot of artists are that way. Like you become an artist, you kind of have to be a little bit obsessed with this to do it for this long. You know what I mean? Like, because it's a hard thing to do. So I don't know. I feel like I just get like the itch after a while where I just want to keep doing it. And I would never just want to like not feel useful. And also a lot of my friends just have like regular jobs. They have lives, and I can't just be sitting at home with no life. Like I feel like I want to feel productive too. I want to feel like,
Well,
I'm also working.
How far into the 3 years were you like, oh, I should do something? Or were you just always kind of doing something?
Pretty quickly. I mean, there was like COVID that happened, and I put out an album then, but I didn't get to tour it. So like that felt like work, but I was kind of doing a lot of stuff from home. I didn't really get out much. So probably around then I was like, okay, I'm ready to like get back out there again. But for a minute, sorry, I feel like I'm talking so much, but for a minute there, I want to say like 6-ish months, I wasn't writing at all. And I almost like, I wasn't singing. I felt like really disconnected for a second with my music, or with music in general, for a while. Like I wasn't listening to music. I wasn't making any music. So I had to kind of like redefine my relationship to it for a second before I could like get back into it. I don't know why. I just felt like, I don't know why. I just felt a little disconnected from it for a
How'd
second.
you reestablish your relationship?
I think just by remembering why I wanted to do this in the first place, and connecting to like the innocence of like my love for music. Because when you start to like make your hobby and your passion your job, like that's amazing that I get to do that for a living, but there's also something that comes with it where like it gets a little tainted or something, because like all of the negative parts of doing this kind of infiltrate the basis of like just loving music and like why I wanted to do it in the first place. So I felt like I almost like developed a weird resentment for it for a second, where I was like, I want nothing to do with this anymore. I felt like I wanted to completely disconnect myself from like this identity in a weird way, until I realized like I started doing this for a reason. It was because I loved I loved to make music. It was like the one thing that I was good at, and I just had to like connect with that, in order to like be able to do it professionally again. I had to just connect with like the innocence of just loving to write and to sing,
Did the first song you write after that make it to this album?
Not the first one, but pretty early on. Like I want to say like the fourth or fifth, I think did. Yeah.
Need a couple to warm up.
Yeah, definitely. Because it had been a while, so.
It's a muscle, right? Writing
It
music?
is. Yeah, it's like, you do enough reps of, I don't know, like, I don't know anything
You don't know
about
a rep, do you?
I don't know what a rep is. A bicep
exercise?
curl, that's what I've used. I used that analogy today. A bicep curl, you do this enough, you're going to get a muscle, right? You're going to get strong. So it's the same thing. You got to just keep working out that, like, songwriter muscle, and then eventually you get something strong.
Fitness 101, thank
Analogy.
you. That was good.
Yeah, that was great.
It's giving poet.
It is.
Listen to Alessia's music. It's all on Amazon Music. It's waiting for you. Link below. You good?
Thank
Yeah.
you.
Thanks for being here.
Thanks, guys.
It was great to hang again. Please come back for the album, or we will come to you. I'm coming to you. I'm coming to you. No,
Really?
You don't
Okay.
come here.
You guys hear this. This is on record?
well, we'll see
I'll
about
give
that.
you. I'm
So-
going to be in Toronto for like a few days.
I'm
Maybe
gonna
even a
hold you
week.
to it.
So
Okay, fine. If not, I have no problem coming back because I like hanging here. So
it's not. Do you like really split your time mostly between Toronto and here? Or?
kind of everywhere. Like I'm mostly in Toronto, like when I'm not working, and then when I am working, I'm like in the staple places here, New York, the usual
Miami
usual
was
suspects.
interesting. You like Miami?
Yeah, it's because a producer that I was working with, Jay Cash, he's from there and he has a studio there, and so I just like ended up going there just for him.
Jay
So,
Cash is amazing. He's a cool guy.
he's cool. He's funny. He's a funny dude and talented,
Yeah,
but also funny.
really gifted.
Yeah.
Thanks for being here.
Thank you.
Alessia Cara, everybody.
Yay.